And a very good morning and welcome to RTE Radio this morning. It's January the 1st and we are 8 hours into 2011. You're listening to Countrywide with me, Ella McSweeney. I'll be sitting in for the lovely Damien O'Reilly, who's taking a bit of time off over the next few weeks. Well, later on the programme, we'll be hearing from Conor Hyde in Cork. He's the head of Bullseye Food Marketing and he's going to be telling me about what food trends we should expect for 2011. Now, earlier I spoke to Conor Hyde in Cork. He's the head of Bullseye Food Marketing and he told me what food trends we should expect for this year.
With the recession, consumers at the moment are looking for, if you like, comfort foods. So, if you like, they're like an emotional comfort food blanket. So people are looking for small treats to counteract the recession. So things like more cookies and cakes and desserts and ice creams, and we're going to see a relaunching of old product recipes and old packaging and foods from our past when things seemed a little easier, I suppose. Foods like traditional cakes, traditional bread recipes, traditional meat cuts. I think you've seen the launch recently of some, old forgotten brands like Cadbury's Whisper and Iron Brew as an example.
And are we looking back to the 50s and 60s or are we looking back to the 80s or when?
Well, I'd say it's more 50s and 60s. We're working with quite a few bakeries at the moment who are launching recipes and traditional cakes and bread recipes that would have died out over the last number of decades, but they're making a resurgence now as people want to experience, I suppose, food from the past when things seemed a little easier. You're going to see nasties being taken out of food, like sodium levels, high fructose sugar levels, saturated fats, trans fats, MSG. You're going to see a resurgence in more condition-specific foods, things like gluten-free foods for celiacs, dairy-free foods for lactose intolerance, and low-sugar foods for diabetics.
And is it very much a result of a lot of marketing? For example, I know in England, if Jamie Oliver mentions some food stuff, the next day it's going to be sold out in the shops, or the likes of Delia Smith as well.
Well, that's it. Obviously, celebrity chefs have a huge influence on food trends, so what people see in the media, they look to replicate in their weekly grocery purchase. But I suppose our view, when we deal with a lot of Irish food producers, is that these trends should lead to inspiration and that should lead to new product development, which, consumers are looking for. Meat reduction is a very strong trend for 2011. I think you'll see meatless Mondays and tofu Thursdays, and there's a super nut trend as well at the moment towards nuts that are naturally rich in minerals and beneficial oils, like almonds and pistachios and walnuts are making a resurgence. They want their food to be food they can trust, and they want to know what they're eating.
Conor Hyde there in Cork telling me what food trends we're going to expect later this year